Today I will be reading 5 true horror stories from Reddit. All of these stories happened on the last day of school. Let's get started. And number 5, The Renter. I was home alone for the first time ever. My parents had gone out of town and left me alone in our new house, which we had just moved into a week prior. It was a huge house with 4 stories. There was also a massive storm going on outside. I was tucked away in my room listening to music, and everything was fine until around 4 a.m. I woke up because of strange creaking sounds coming from the floor above mine. Then I heard what sounded like footsteps pacing back and forth right above my room. Just as I was debating whether I should investigate or not, a flash of lightning revealed that the door to my closet was slightly ajar. I instantly freaked out and ran downstairs. I didn't want to turn the lights on, so I hid under the dining room table. That's when I saw it. Bare, muddy, and disfigured legs. They looked like an old person's legs. I remember vividly the knees being gnarled and twisted and the skin translucent and white. The creature then dropped a wrench and hobbled out of sight. I don't remember what exactly happened after that. I think I called my parents, but they didn't pick up. I ended up spending the rest of the morning hiding in my room until the sun came up. Now, years later, I still don't know what that thing was. Even weirder, the next day my dad told me that the closet door had been ripped clean off its hinges. No, for the stalker. This happened when I was a child, probably around the age of 8 or 9. Every night for about 2 weeks I had the same nightmare. I would always be in my bed in my pajamas and the room would be completely dark. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear a distinct noise. Someone walking across my bedroom floor. Then I could feel a presence near my bed. I would hear heavy breathing and the sound of fingernails digging into the mattress. And then I would feel something wet and cold lick my face. I would scream and wake up in a panic. Eventually the dreams stopped as abruptly as they began. One night about 2 years later, I was awoken in the middle of the night by a strange feeling. I couldn't see in the darkness, but I could have sworn I saw a flicker of movement outside my window. I told my parents about it and they didn't really believe me. But the next morning they went outside to investigate and found faint footprints in the soft earth beneath my window. I was scared to go to sleep for weeks. But now, years later, I can look back and realize that the man in my dreams was probably Uncle Brian. He was a family friend who had a big car accident when I was a baby. He ended up with a bad scar on his forehead. I never saw him again after I turned 5. To this day, I can still remember the feeling of those fingernails digging into my mattress. Number 3, the yearbook. On the last day of school, I was in 8th grade. I was at my locker putting stuff away when some kid I'd never seen before walked up to me and asked if I was so-and-so. I said I was, and he walked away. I thought nothing of it. Fast forward to after the last bell of the year had rung and I was home. I was looking through my gifts from the year and I opened up my yearbook. That's when I saw the message. It read, "I'll be seeing you again." Signed Samuel Robinson III. I was confused because I knew none of the Robinsons, and I definitely didn't know anyone named Samuel. I flipped to the front of the book and saw that Samuel Robinson III was a student at my school. I didn't know any of the Robinsons, but I decided to keep the book away from my little brother just in case. I had a sleepover that night, and I told my friends about the weird message. About midnight, we were watching a scary movie, and we heard a knock, knock, knock on the basement storm door. We all froze and got really scared. I peeked out the window, and it was pitch black outside, so I couldn't tell who it was. My friend dared me to go check it out. I walked over and slowly opened the door. I couldn't see anything outside, but I could hear what sounded like hail. I shut the door and went back to the movie. The knocking started again. This time I opened the door all the way and called out, "Who's there?" A voice responded, "It's me. I just wanted to say hi." I asked who it was again, and he said, "You know, Samuel Robinson III." I immediately slammed the door shut and locked it. I told my friends that Samuel was out there and they told me to call the cops. By the time the cops got there, Samuel had run off. The next morning I told my parents about it and they said to just forget about it. But I still haven't. To this day, I have no idea what Samuel wanted. No. 2, the house party. I was in 9th grade and I had just started to drive. Some friends and I decided to drive to a beach house a couple towns over. When we arrived, there was a group of 3 guys on the beach. We talked to them for a bit, and then they invited us to a party at their house. At this point, my friends and I had been drinking. So we decided to go. The guys offered to walk us back to their place, which was nice because it was pretty far of a walk. We reached the house and decided to stay for a bit. I was hanging out with these 3 guys, and they kept offering me more and more drinks. Next thing I knew, I was completely drunk. The last thing I remember was my friend Lindsay saying, "Let's go home," and then everything went black. I woke up the next morning and realized I was in a hospital gown laying on a hospital bed. I quickly called my friends and told them I was at the hospital. They showed up soon after and said they were so worried because I had been kidnapped along with them. Apparently, the guys had given us all sleeping pills slipped in our drinks, and then they brought us all back to their house. Their intention was to put us in their van and drive us upstate to their friend's lake house. My friends and I fought back and managed to escape. The guys were arrested shortly after. Number 1, the blackout. I was at a music event with my friend Ryan. We were both drunk and barely 18. We met 2 girls, Gianna and Marcella. Gianna and Marcella were both much older than us, probably in their mid to late 20s. They bought us a lot of drinks and we ended up heavily blacking out. I remember Gianna leaning in to try and kiss me. That's the last thing I remember. I woke up in a set of bushes over an hour away from the venue. I was wearing a stranger's dress and underwear. I didn't have my phone, wallet, or keys. I called Ryan and he picked me up. We drove back to the venue to try and find the beach house where we had stayed the night before, but it didn't exist. We must have gotten lost. The older man who answered the door said no girl named Marcella lived there. We were confused and scared. We called the cops, but they couldn't do anything since we couldn't provide any details. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you have a good night and stay safe.